everyone, my name is Shawn in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. I tried to dye my hair last night, but it didn't really work because my hair is so dark. Like, it was supposed to be purple thens, but there's no purple there. You see? There's nothing. Nothing. Oh well. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the Harry Potter movie soundtracks, and I'm talking like the complete album for each movie. I'm not talking each song individually because then there would be hundreds of songs and this video would take like 30 hours. So in case you don't know this about me, I'm a huge soundtrack fan. My first YouTube videos had a bunch of like random soundtracks that didn't fit the theme of the video, like in the background, just because I was so obsessed with soundtracks. And while I've listened to soundtracks a little less recently because I can't listen to soundtracks anymore while doing schoolwork, I still do listen to them a lot, especially when I'm trying to fall asleep because I have insomnia and delayed sleep phase disorder, so it's really hard to get sleep, and so oftentimes I'm laying in bed for 3 hours just listening to soundtracks because I can't sleep. So there's 8 Harry Potter movies. I'm not going to be including the Fantastic Beasts movies right now because not all of the Fantastic Beasts movies are out yet. There's still going to be 3 movies. So for the first 3 movies, the person who wrote the soundtrack was John Williams. John Williams is an iconic composer that a lot of people are a huge fan of. He's done things like E.T. and Star Wars. He did a lot of the like classic and popular hyped movies. In Goblet of Fire, we got Patrick Doyle. He brought a very different tone to the Harry Potter soundtracks. It really fit with the movie, even though it was a little bit slower paced than all of the other composers that worked on the Harry Potter soundtracks. In Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince, we got Nicholas Hooper. He brought fun new themes to the Harry Potter movies that really fit with the movies and match with the characters really well. And then for the final 2 movies, we have this guy that I don't know how to say his name. I don't know, there's some British names and European names that I can't say, because like I can't say the guy's name who plays Voldemort because his name is not Ralph. I think it's like Rafe or something. But anyways, this director that I'm gonna butcher their name is Alexandre or Alexander Desplat or Desplate. The composer for the final 2 movies brought a darker and more somber soundtrack to the movies that again really fit well with the movies. I think the switches between the composers really worked out well. I think John Williams is one that does more like happy soundtracks, and I think the tones of the movies and the content in the movies changed drastically, and I think the composers were able to capture the change in moods really well, so I'm actually glad that we've had 4 composers that worked on the Harry Potter films. So now to get to the actual ranking. This is my own opinion, and this opinion is very controversial because I know that a lot of people are a huge fan of the first Harry Potter soundtrack, and I'm just not. Like, it definitely fit the movie really well, and whenever I watch the movie I still get the chills and happiness that I got the first time I watched the movie when I was very, very young, but it's just not my favorite. My favorite, surprisingly, is actually Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I just really like the fun themes to it, but I also like how there was darker things to it, and my favorite song of all time is in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and I always feel lame saying my favorite song. The reason why is because it's literally called Opening, and I'm sure that there's a lot of movies where the first song is called Opening, so I always feel lame saying my favorite song is Opening from Half-Blood Prince. But it's just true, the first song was just so good, and I remember going to opening day and watching Half-Blood Prince, and just that first song I was like, it's happening, it's really happening. And then I think In Noctum was great. In Noctum has like lyrics to it, but it's also like really calming. So I think as a whole the soundtrack works really well together and I really like it. So that is number 1. My second favorite soundtrack in the Harry Potter series is probably Deathly Hallows Part 2. There's some really epic and intense songs in there, but there's also some calmer and sadder songs that really mixed well with the movie. Also, I'm not including the Harry Potter trailer soundtracks, but the Deathly Hallows Part 2 trailer soundtrack, it is so good. I will listen to it on repeat for the rest of my life. The one that I'm putting after Deathly Hallows Part 2, so my third favorite Harry Potter soundtrack, is the Deathly Hallows Part 1 soundtrack. Deathly Hallows Part 1 as a whole was a little bit of a slower movie than the other ones. Although it is one of my favorite movies, I know that it is not a very well liked movie, but the songs in Deathly Hallows Part 1 are amazing, especially in the first half of the soundtrack. They're just so perfect and I have no complaints. My fourth favorite Harry Potter soundtracks when it comes to movies is probably Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It is very slow, as I've said, and the reason why I'm not ranking this one higher, because I love Goblet of Fire and I love lots of the songs in there, but the reason why I can't give it a higher ranking is because I feel like the Wizard Rock songs that were played at the Yule Ball should like be separated. I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but like I feel like they should be separated, because I know that some movies release it like a soundtrack and a score. I feel like the instrumental song should have been like sold as a soundtrack and then the Wizard Rock songs as a score, or vice versa, because whenever I'm just like calmly trying to listen to the Goblet of Fire soundtrack, it'll be all calm and then all of a sudden it'll be like, can you dance like a hippogriff? And I'm like, no, I was in such a relaxing mood. You just ruined the entire thing. Also, there's a ton of Wizard Rock songs that weren't really like in the movie fully. Like, why couldn't we have seen them fully and just like, I don't know, enjoy them and got like a hour-long Yule Ball scene, maybe like in the deleted scenes, you know? My 5th favorite soundtrack has to be Order of the Phoenix. My major complaint with Order of the Phoenix is that whenever I listen to the soundtrack, it's not in the order that the movie is in, and I really like to listen to it in order, and I don't know why it's not in the right order. I feel like it would have just been a simple thing to just like take the files when you're making the soundtrack and just put them in the right order and give them the right numbers, but they didn't do that. I also think that Order of the Phoenix has some really good songs, but there are some that are, I don't know, that just aren't my favorite, but I do really like the Order of the Phoenix soundtrack. And as you can see, John Williams, all of his 3 are my final 3 of my least favorites, but they are still some of my favorite soundtracks of all time. The reason why is because if you are a John Williams like super fan buff and you listen to all of his songs, you'll notice a lot of similarities between all of them. Like, he has a lot of common themes through all of them. And also, I think that like the first one was good because it was original, but the second one, especially Chamber of Secrets, I was like, this is almost like really slow and just rehashing the songs from the first movie, which isn't a bad thing because some movies have done that successfully. Like, I think Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2 did that successfully, like taking themes from the first films and then rehashing them better in the later films, but I don't think John Williams did that super successfully with Chamber of Secrets. So my 3rd from last favorite of the Harry Potter soundtracks is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, because it establishes the like themes that everyone knows and everyone loves, and that's why. And then after that, I'm putting Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban as a whole, the soundtracks are a little bit better than the second movie, I'm not gonna lie, and that's partly because we get double trouble. Like, double, double, toil and trouble. Okay, none of you want to hear me sing, so I'm just gonna wrap that up. But as you can see, Prisoner of Azkaban has a pretty good soundtrack. And then my least favorite soundtrack, which is still one of my favorites because it's a freaking Harry Potter soundtrack, is Chamber of Secrets. I honestly can't think of anyone who loves the Chamber of Secrets soundtrack. Yeah, there's just nothing that really stands out to me as amazing about that soundtrack. It like did fit the movie pretty well, but I just don't gravitate to that soundtrack because there's just some parts of it that I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of this. So to summarize everything I just said, the order from my favorite to my least favorite Harry Potter soundtracks are Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 2, Deathly Hallows Part 1, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, and Sorcerer's Stone, and Prisoner of Azkaban, and then Chamber of Secrets. I think that was the order I said. Hopefully that was the order I said. Hopefully I didn't just embarrass myself by screwing that order up in my summary. Anyways, that is all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. It's okay if you have a different opinion from me because we all get to have our own opinions about everything because that's just the way the world works. So if you have a different opinion than me, feel free to leave your ranking of the Harry Potter soundtracks down in the description below, or if you agree with my ranking, feel free to leave your favorite Harry Potter soundtrack, like an individual song. For me, that's obviously Opening from Half-Blood Prince, as I've already said. I love that. It's been my alarm on my phone when I wake up in the morning for like years. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and I will see all of you later. Bye!